Good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, February 21st, 2023. It's Election Day today.
It is.
For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben... What?
Early and often. No, you can't.
Early, that's right. Yeah. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you're watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With nearly 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. Like Fitzy and I, they believe that it's the little things that make a big difference. So give Brian a call today. The number's right there on the screen, 715-520-2271. We are live streaming this week's show via DrydenWire's Facebook page, YouTube channel, and on Twitter. So however you may be watching, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Fitzy, good morning.
I can get on Twitter and watch us?
Yeah, it's on right now. Nobody, it's Twitter. Northwest Wisconsin, nobody has Twitter. It's just an option that we had, and it's just nice to say we're on, live streaming on Twitter, but nobody watches it on Twitter.
I'm going to watch us on Twitter now.
Now I'm going to, I went back and actually watched one on Twitter just because I'm like, hey, I can. Yeah. How was first of all, what in the world's going on over there? You're like crystal clear.
I know.
Your audio is great. Your video, this can't last very long.
Our top-notch IT team here solved all the problems.
Lance is on it.
Lance is on fire. No wonder he got the job.
No kidding. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Renee. And honestly, whatever he just did, that's great. That's absolutely awesome. All right. So how was your weekend?
Good. I watched hockey.
Well, that was honestly, that's like the only thing. So this weekend, that's one of the things that you and I do have in common is our love of sports. And I've always said I could watch like pretty much anything. I don't care as long as there's a storyline or something. But this was like the B-side of your favorite tape. Your mixed. It's the one that you don't listen to. Those songs. That's what this weekend was for me. XFL was terrible. NBA All-Star Game was. I made it maybe 4 minutes. That was just like what are we even doing? Like one team almost scored 200 points. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, not even fun. That's not even fun.
No. Good morning, Larry. And what was another one? Tiger Woods. There was a storyline, but I was watching it and realizing I don't know any of these other people because a whole bunch left for like that live golf thing or something. Right. Or maybe it's live. I don't know how you pronounce it.
I think it's live.
Okay. And then I saw, I'm a huge Formula One fan, and that starts in like a month, and I saw Daytona was on. I'm like, well, it's racing. So I'll watch it. And wow, I haven't watched that in a while because, one, it's boring. They just go on an oval. Right. It's just whatever. But it said 6 laps left to go. But then at the same time, it said 125 out of 200 laps. It's what? So I guess there's stages now. When did that start?
A couple years ago. I did watch most of the Daytona 500. In fact, one of our dispatchers was there at the Daytona 500. He was on vacation. Went to it. Yeah.
What?
So I did watch it. It is a, I don't know the stage thing. I don't know how to do it, but I did watch the end. It was a good ending.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, by the way, hey, it's one of your, he went to the dark side.
Pete Johnson.
The dark side. I think he's still over there, right? So people don't know, Pete Johnson was the sheriff in Polk County, right? Before Brent Walk. Mm-hmm. And he left and got his law degree or something. And then he went he's an attorney, but I think a defense attorney. Am I correct? Defense attorney?
I have no idea what he is. I know he went and he's a lawyer somewhere, but I'm sure he helps the good guys a lot.
No, he doesn't. If he's on the other side, nope. Boy, I haven't seen Pete in a long time. Pete, we miss you. I'm not kidding. Like when I first started DrydenWire, he was the sheriff in Polk, and we had some great chats. I know my dad had a lot of respect for him.
We had a lot of fun too. Yeah.
Oh, I love this.
That's what it is. It's about being positive and saying hi just like that. So,
all right. Good morning, Gay, Representative Magnifici. And no defense work. Okay. All righty. That's what I thought it was. Like, no.
That's how rumors get started, right on this show.
Right on the show. From Ben Dryden. All right.
So what did you do all weekend?
Nothing, because there wasn't any, good sport. Oh, you know who stopped over, by the way? Oh, as soon as that goes away here. I have a new shirt here.
You have a new shirt?
Brian, Professional Exteriors, exteriors and interiors. Brian stopped over last night, and we had a nice chat. And no kidding, that dude is legit.
He is.
I want to tell you two things about him, but one is very personal, so I probably shouldn't. But just wow, it was an amazing story. And the other one I'm waiting to get approval on, but I'm just going to give you a hint right now because we may do a story on it. That dude is actually going to be building somebody's house for free.
Really?
Or it's a pole shed. I don't know if they're going to use it as a house or not. It's a pole shed. Yeah. But they had a whole bunch of money that was saved up, and then a family member had passed away. It was a horrible tragedy, someone in our area, and they had all the materials, but now all that money went towards that, so they couldn't afford to actually build, the labor part. And he got a whole bunch of people together, and they all decided to do it for free. What?
He's legit. Like you said, he cares. Yeah, he's just, there he is. Look at that.
And look at that. So he's dropped off some shirts, and on the back, it's the little things that make a big difference.
Yep.
I'm not kidding. That guy is just a good human being. And
he's got a crew that'll knock your socks off when they take care of your roof or whatever it is. So and he always is out there and helping people, and he doesn't do it all for free. I mean, but I think
you can't run a business, building houses for free all the time.
Right. But he runs a lot of crews. He got a great business. He started it on his own. It was, it's a legit story. It's great. It's the local people that make a big difference. And you always say, give a shout out. I mean, it's the local people that really make a difference in our community. And when things happen, I did a great church service on Saturday on how to call 911.
Right.
And I brought the three guys that were working. There was no calls for the half hour. So I brought them into the church, and I normally do these talks. I'm trying to expand it out. Darren and John and Tony were there, are three of my deputies, and they just did a great job with this church service on Saturday or Sunday, and talked about 911 and some of our equipment and our live feed to dispatch and our live view of our body cameras and how they keep each other safe and what their equipment does. So, and it was just an interactive thing, and they were like, wow, this is great. That they get to show the community supports law enforcement. We've talked about it in the show a million times, and this is the best place to be a cop. And it's just great. So shout out to Bethany Lutheran Church and for having us come in between church services and give a talk on just what we do, why we do what we do. And, they got to see a lot of the thanks and the congratulations, and it was awesome.
You had started that with, you taught them how to call 911.
Yep.
It's going to be very sarcastic sounding, but they don't, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Just 911 and call.
But why? What does the dispatch? So we actually did a test call into 911 because they weren't busy. So we actually put the microphone up there. What the dispatcher asked you, why they asked you these questions, what information you need if you're reporting somebody like a drunk driver. Our scenario was a drunk driver. What street are you on? What road are you on? Or it's the cross street. Know these questions so that because you're going to get asked. And what happens when you make a 911 hang up call? I mean, when I know you just called 911 and hung up because it was an accident, but answer the phone. You're not going to get yelled at. We're not going to give you a ticket. But if you don't answer it, we got to come and look for you. You're still not going to get a ticket. So just answer that. You made a mistake. It's okay. It takes 15 seconds to say everything's fine, but we need to check that out. And
how do you misdial? How does that typically happen? I didn't know this was not obviously scheduled for us to even talk about here this morning, but I'm just curious. How do you accidentally call 911? You still have to hit the numbers, right? And then
a lot of them have buttons, emergency call buttons on their phone, on their watch. We're seeing a lot of watch calls. You can dial 911 from your watch. Yeah. If you look at our logs and our CADs, you'll see a lot of 911 hangups.
I stopped looking at those.
How do you know what's going on?
When you started delaying them for 24 hours because another media outlet was doing something that you didn't particularly care for. You punished people like DrydenWire. So I'm like, fine, screw you. I'm not even going to look at them anymore. So I don't even look at them anymore. By the way, we should really get Pete on. Pete, if you're actually listening, when we're finished, I'm going to call you, man. We should get him on to see what life is like after being a sheriff. And we have a couple, I see a question here from Larry. We'll get to that in a second. So this is, any shout outs or announcements. I just want to give a quick shout out and a thank you to Kirk Anderson. The third Thursday of every month, he comes on and does his show, Kirk Anderson show. And that last one was on tiny homes and tiny living. It was awesome. Yeah. Like, It was so informational. I don't know if anyone had a chance to watch it. If not, it's on our Facebook page, our website, and on our YouTube channel. I wanted to quickly follow up with you. Last week we talked about I had mentioned that I'm not sure that there's going to be those questions regarding cash bail on the ballot in April because there was somebody challenging it. So it just happened yesterday that Wisconsin judge okays ballot measures for April elections. So that question, those two questions, the main one, of course, being the cash bail, will be on the ballot as of yesterday. And then I saw this. So we did a support staff spotlight we do every Monday for our area. And this last one was from Jackie Krakowski over in Burnett County at the DA's office. And I just saw it. I did not know this. Number 20, law enforcement is in my family. My grandfather was chief of police in Cameron many years ago. My sister Tammy worked for the Burnett County Sheriff's Office for 42 years. And my cousin through marriage is Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald. What? How did I not know that?
I have a lot of secrets. I don't my mom is Krakowski. All my relatives are from that area, and yeah, I know. And in fact, Jackie and was down visiting my parents last year, and so yeah, and she's does a great job over there, and yeah, we've been cousins forever.
Well, since you've been, yeah. And Larry said you have a bad delay, so we've actually. It's not because we're streaming on the 3 different ones. We actually bumped this up to 1080p instead of 720 to stream it live. So it's actually how you are actually accessing it and viewing it. If you're on like 3G and mobile data, or if you have slow internet speed, it's going to show a little bit of a delay. We're kind of testing it out for a couple of weeks to see how many people are experiencing that. Hopefully not too many, but if it is, we'll bump it back down to 720p. All right, there was a question right at the very beginning here. Early question, Fitzy, when are you going to start or do roadside inspections on vehicles? I see so many cars and trucks that have tires stick 4 inches outside the fender flares. Is that illegal, by the way, to have?
I don't know all of those laws, but yes, Larry is, I believe, accurate on that. I don't know if 4 inches is accurate. He obviously knows. I don't know. There is a rule on how far your tires can stick out your fender.
Oh.
We don't do roadside inspections, but we can stop people for traffic violations. Some of our people do that. It's hard to measure 4 inches when you're driving down the road. So I can't just pull you over and think your car is. I have to have a violation of the law to pull you over. And so, but yes, we do that. Tint is another thing.
No, it's not. Nope. No, we don't talk about that.
Those are equipment violations. Now there are troopers that are more expertise in that, and they do that. But we don't just do roadside inspections. That's not a thing. But we can pull you over for that if it's obviously a blatant violation. We can pull you over and issue you a citation for that.
All right. So we want to talk about election predictions. Sure to go wrong. We do every election. And so we'll always find out because we do these shows on Tuesdays, and that's when elections are. So then we'll find out, by tonight or tomorrow how that went. So we'll do a follow-up next Tuesday. We'll get to that. Obviously, there's a huge weather. Some I've even seen, I don't know if it's hyperbole or what, but there is people are saying it's going to be like a historic snowstorm this week. Mm-hmm. I don't know the definition of historic, but apparently it's going to be huge. We put up a weather thing this morning. I think in Rice Lake, you guys are looking at potentially up to, over the course of the whole storm, like 20 inches, which that's like crazy. And then, and I also want to get to right after this, we always do press releases. We touched on this last week, and our headline was Man and Woman Charged with Running Drug House for Teens in Barron County. I wanted your thoughts on that. But first, we're back in 15 seconds after a word from Spooner Health.
Satisfaction surveys and in conversations with patients, they appreciate the fact that staff got to know them. Staff really took their preferences into account, and they just feel grateful that they are being cared for as a person.
To learn more about our services, visit SpoonerHealth.com.
Oh, yeah. And no one can hear us when we talk about Mike Schaefer during that commercial.
Yeah, I know. That's the best part. We're making fun of him the whole time.
I'm not, Mike. I support you and Spooner Health.
All right, so we did this article. It was an insider article, Man and Woman Charged with Running Drug House for Teens in Barron County. We ran that last Wednesday. I'm sure you had seen that. What are your thoughts about, if you want to talk about that specific one or just in a generality, it's up to you. What are your thoughts?
We've ran Parents Who Host Lose the Most for a lot of years, and we kind of got away from it because it kind of ran its course. We're probably going to have to. We actually meet on Thursday on a prevention team. We're going to do some more prevention work in Barron County this summer. We're going to do some fun things. We're going to do some more PR work. I don't know if we can do any more, but we've got some things planned. I think we're going to sponsor a bingo at the Race Lake Library. I think we're going to do some more coffee with the cops. I think we're going to do some more prevention stuff. Part of that prevention work has been Parents Who Host Lose the Most. Means you can't give alcohol to somebody in your house that's not your son or daughter and allow them to drink in your house or allow them to smoke marijuana or do anything like that. So these people were charged with that. 2 different occasions, 2 different things. I met with DHS on this issue. We're going to do some more prevention work and more awareness. I mean, it should be pretty obvious that you can't allow your kids' friends to come in your house and smoke marijuana and drink alcohol.
Well, let's stipulate that. Because there is a little bit of a difference there. Marijuana is still legal for everybody.
Right.
But alcohol, I thought there was something about a parent because alcohol is not illegal under certain things, right? But you can allow your child. I don't know if there's like an age. I'm assuming there must be like an age thing. You can't like an 8-year-old, have a shot of tequila.
Wisconsin.
What?
You can take your 8-year-old to the bar in Wisconsin.
Okay, but can you let them drink?
Yep.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. Wisconsin. Now, many bars don't serve it, but it is legal. Wisconsin is one of the only states where it's legal to take your son or daughter into an alcohol establishment at any age and allow them to drink. The bartender has to serve you. The parent then gives it to mom or dad. Now, it has to be mom or dad. It can't be aunt, uncle, brother, grandpa.
Okay, that's fine, but that can't. No.
Yep.
You have to look at the statute. There's no freaking way that you would have an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old sit next to you at the bar getting drunk with dad. That cannot be true.
It can happen.
What?
Yeah. This isn't, but it's mom or dad only. A lot of people push that.
Still, that's okay. We'll gloss over that. So just want to stipulate that. Anyone coming over and having marijuana, that's still illegal. Whether you agree with it or not, it's irrelevant.
Right.
But you're specifically talking about having your maybe parents or a mom or a dad having friends over, their kids' friends over.
And
right?
allowing them to do different things, and we can't have that. That's contributing to the delinquency of a minor. There's some other crimes in there, and we caught these people allowing them, whether they want to be popular or they want their kid to be popular, whatever it is, we can't do it. So there, see, Brian said the youngest they've served is 12 in a bar.
Also is married under 21, I believe.
Yep.
Oh, yep, I remember that.
That's
so crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, just out of curiosity, if you can follow up, how often do you see that? I don't know what a percentage or just, is this like a normal thing or what? I'm just kind of curious about that. So you're going to be doing some prevention stuff.
Yeah, we're going to jump into prevention. We're going to jump into, we've got to put some, obviously it should be, again, pretty common that you should know you shouldn't do this, but we're going to go after some of these people that allow kids to drink, even though our underage drinking numbers are down. We're going to go after it because DHS has called me and said we're starting to see a little trend up in this. So we need to, take care of it right away, nip it in the butt and stop it from going on. And we're going to charge these people and we're going to make them Facebook famous. And as you know, people don't like to put their picture on DrydenWire and they don't like their picture on Facebook when they get arrested. But, that is a deterrent. It is a deterrent that works. So, there's not a lot to this story, but I don't know if running a drug house, but yeah, technically, I guess it's running a drug house.
That's what there was a charge for. I mean, that's
right. I mean, you allow people to do drugs in your house, you're running a drug house, which then can get into the seizures things. And if we can prove you're running a drug operation and selling or distributing drugs, then we can seize your house. So there is some seizure things that can get into play here. Now, I don't think we're probably at the level here at this, but maybe if it continues and we can prove it, maybe that's something to get your attention is that we'll seize your house in a seizure. So we haven't seized anything in a long time. But we've seized cars, houses, money, different things. We can seize if it's paid for. There's certain restrictions. Some of that money goes to the school district of Wisconsin. Some of it goes to your department. You don't get it just because you seize it doesn't mean you get it.
Oh, so you're not driving around in a Corvette that you seized or anything.
Right, yeah, exactly. Well,
wait, where did your dad get that Corvette? I'm just curious all of a sudden.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. That's from his yes, I would agree with Brian. Mostly you see this deer opening Christmas and 4th of July.
I literally did every show I always end up learning something. Yep. I did not know that you could okay, whatever. We're just gonna
you and Kenny can go out to the bar tonight.
That's ridiculous. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. How in the world is that legal? I don't understand.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So moving on. Election predictions sure to go wrong. So if it's election day today, here's your candidates. That's Judge Doro. That's Waukesha County Court Judge Jennifer Doro on the left. That's former Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Dan Kelly. And then Dane County Court Judge Everett Mitchell. And then Milwaukee County Court Judge, we're just going to call her Judge Janet because I don't know how to say her last name. Those are the four. The two on the right are the considered, I don't know what's the right terminology, the left wing or the liberals, and the two on the left there are the conservative and or right wing. So I was just curious about your thoughts about, have you followed any of them? We had two of them on. Both of them were the conservatives, but remember, we don't ask people to come on, candidates to come on shows. They have to reach out to us to come on, and two of them did. And we had them on, of course, and if the other two did, we would have said yes to. So I don't really know that much about the other two. What can you tell us? What do you know about the two on the right, Everett and Janet?
I know that this is a Republican Democratic, and it's not supposed to be, but the Republicans are supporting too. The Democrats are supporting too. But all the candidates keep saying that they're for, the law. And I'm like, this is, I don't like that part of it when it comes to judges. I think we've politicized this to death in these races like this, and they didn't used to be. That's the way it goes. That's what we have to live with. So you have to go vote with what you think. I did see a thing yesterday, and the amount of money raised in this race again was huge, and the amount of money being spent on this is huge. And some of them, I think Janet was outspending them big money.
Oh yeah, she had. If you added up, at least this was a few days ago. If you added up the three other candidates, Judge Janet had 25% more. She had about $2 million raised. And the other ones, all three combined, was 1.5. Now, I know that's gone up since. And I also had seen something about that. Actually, it was just this morning regarding the money that's going into it. The most money I think Wisconsin Supreme Court race has ever seen, I think that was in 2020, it was about $10 million. Yeah. And early projections were looking like this could be 15, but now they're saying minimum 20 and could be up as high as 30. That's ridiculous.
This for a Supreme Court. Now, and what do you get to vote for? One of the four? What did you figure out?
Right, yeah. So if there's only one opening, then even though it's not a Republican Democrat, actually, it doesn't even say anything about conservative or anything on your ballot. It's just 4 names, and it assumes you know who they are. But yeah, you can only vote once, and the top 2 vote getters get in.
Right. So and then there'll be another runoff in April.
April 4th, right, and that's the 2 top vote getters. Now, it is technically possible that you could have 2 conservatives or 2 liberals, but the likelihood of that is just astronomical. So it will be 1 conservative and 1 liberal. I think that Judge Janet, just because of her funding and where the money is coming from, I think not only does she win of the 2 liberals, I would say that she's going to be, this is my prediction, she will have the most votes. And by default, that means Judge Everett will have the fewest amount of votes. So then it comes down to the 2 conservative candidates, which one's going to get second in order to move on to April 4th. What are your thoughts? Are we in agreement? Because we're not going to do a bet this time about who's going to get one right. This is going to be our predictions sure to go wrong.
I think you're probably right at Janet, and I'm going to go with Darrow.
Judge Darrow, really?
Yeah, I think so. And Larry's right. It comes down to the abortion. Yeah, that's the issue.
That's the driving force in this election. You bet. And maps as well, and election and some of that stuff. But yeah, no kidding. abortion. That is the number one thing driving this election.
Right. And so, it's probably going to be Darrow and Janet as a runoff in there. I mean, there's a Dan Kelly I see spent some money in Barron County, and he has some signs up here, and I haven't seen signs for anybody else. So I don't even know if the other ones had signs. I couldn't tell you that. So,
well, that's not a bad prediction because, we have 7 Supreme Court judges. 6 of the 7 Supreme Court justices right now are female. Right. So it's not a bad idea just to pick the 2 female, the female and the, clearly right. Wisconsin likes to vote for females for Wisconsin Supreme Court. That's not bad because I have it as a toss-up between Dan and Jennifer Dorow. I don't know how much are those people that have came out and support, like on our YouTube channel, like the most we've ever had that watch, because YouTube, we're doing it live on YouTube, but then we also load in the video. It's just a place that we store things. We don't really promote it that much. Like Ted Nugent was on, and we had like 2,500 people watch it on just on YouTube. That interview that I did, or not interview, that chat that I had with Judge Dorow, I think last I looked was like 10 or 11,000 people that watched that. It was ridiculous. I'm like, why? And then we had Justice Kelly on, Dan Kelly on last Wednesday. I don't know. I think the question is going to come down to is how many people of all of her supporters, because she has name recognition, it's almost like that Jonathan Wickman, where he had a huge following online, but do they turn out to vote? If they, of all the people that know her and say, yes, we love her, if they all come out to vote, then she's going to win. But if they don't, then I would say Dan, what's that?
We talked offline too about their, some of them are just Supreme or Circuit Court judges. Some of them don't have any,
scholarly work, right?
Right. And so, but who knows? But, Darrow is because of the parade incident, the car crash, that she picked up a lot of support. And she handled that well.
She did great. No question about it. She did amazing.
I wouldn't have been able to do what she did. I mean, there isn't many people that would have had the charisma and the stamina and the patience, I guess, to do that. So she did that. I don't know much about the other ones. I don't know anything about Everett Mitchell.
I really don't know much either. Only because they haven't been on shows. So I know what I know about the other 2 because they've been on our shows. But so I don't know much. But again, just because of the sheer money, I would assume that she's going to win. Now, obviously, vote for, and I'm sorry, I did look at like where they stand on certain issues. It seems to be pretty much the same. So if they're pretty much the same, you'd probably, I'm not saying to vote for someone or not for someone, but it seems like Janet, with all the money that she's getting, will likely be the winner. And as far as the other one, I got to ask you, so it's just one thing here from a psychological voter standpoint. If you are a conservative, and you have Dan Kelly, who is a justice, he literally has a track record. And if you liked everything he did when he was a justice, why would you vote for someone else? I'm trying to understand that, and I've talked to some people who support Judge Dorow. I'm not saying vote one way or the other. I'm just trying to understand that part. It'd be like if you didn't have anyone run for you for sheriff last election, what if somebody does and they come up to let's say just a citizen comes up to you and says, Fitzy, I liked everything you did. I voted for you in the past. You're great at everything. You'll do wonderful, but I'm not voting for you. And you say, okay, why? Well, I'm voting for the other person. Right, but you just said that you liked everything I did, so was there something I did wrong? Nope. Like, it doesn't make any sense. At all. If you didn't like what he did, then vote for someone else. Fine.
It comes down to that party line. It comes down to one little thing. It comes down to, that's the cutthroat in politics that isn't fun sometimes. And, Romaine and I have talked about that on the show lots. It's just not, sometimes it's not fun. Some people hate you they love you for 9 out of 10 of your decisions. I'm like, if I got 90%, I'll take 90%. But that one thing they hold against you forever. And, but there's some real big issues out there, and and people are very passionate. And what I do like is there's a lot of people getting information out there. Now you've got to decipher some of the information to decide what's true, what's not, what's a stretch. I love those things on news programs where they, test the articles or the ads that run, and is this the true ad? Well, it's kind of true and kind of not.
What is
true.
that? Isn't that what is that called? They do like a little meter. Yes, I love that site.
I do too, because You're like, well, they stretched it a little bit. So yeah.
Well,
Brian's
speaking of Brian.
100%. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. So,
Yeah, and Brian, I put up your a photo this morning of us from when you were
Yeah.
here last night. Yeah, so all right, so yeah, because it is a toss-up to me, Dan or Jennifer, in terms of the two conservatives. But I'll default to you on this one. And I think that's probably a good theory anyway, just regarding women, at least so far.
I think
That's not
she
a bad reason to pick that. And yes, it will come down to how many of these people who do support her and know of her name, in a lot of name recognition.
did a lot
Is
of
that
name
going to move the needle? I think it probably will. So I agree
it
with you. I would say, yeah. All right. So that's what we have. We've got.
I'll even go as far to say she's got so much name recognition, she might be Janet. I just think people aren't going to know anything about the four
No,
candidates.
because there's so many people going to vote for Dan. It's going to offset each other. It has to, right?
True, but and the other guy is a little bit. That's got a tougher split than the other one. Janet and
Right.
Everett don't have the toughest split.
That's
You're
why
right
I'm
about
saying
that.
first and fourth, just because that it's
that's
not going to
probably
be. I don't think that's going to be close at all. All right, so we're going to go with.
Brian's gonna buy me lunch. Give me a shirt.
Oh,
It
nice.
doesn't say buy him, but he's no. We're gonna meet up for lunch again.
Yeah, so we're going to go with
Something-
Janet on the right. We're going to go with her first. Everett's going to be last, and then
Yep.
we'll say Judge Doro is second. So it'll be the two female candidates will be advancing to the April 4th election. That's what we're going with.
Yep, we're going with that. I think it's strictly on name recognition, and maybe she's got a great record. Maybe I don't know anything about her. It's strictly going to be everybody's going to know her name from the Waukesha parade thing, and they're going to just say, "Well, that's the only one I know, so I'm going to vote for her," and which isn't a bad thing because they're going to say, "I liked what she did," or "I like how she handled that," or "I like this." So, there's people that aren't into the issues. Many people are informed. I don't want to say people go to the poll and just vote for who they like. Many people are informed on issues, and it's going to come down to the abortion issue, as
I agree.
Larry said.
That's going to be. I mean, well, at the very least, that's what's driving this.
Yes, yeah.
If we do see higher turnouts, which I don't think we'll see very high turnouts, but it will certainly be a lot higher just because of that. But most people realize that it's the big one's going to be in April because one of the conservatives will get in and one of the liberals will get in terms of making
I
it
want to
past
see it.
this.
It'd be fun if it was just two from one side and two from the other. It'd be just because they wouldn't know what to do. They'd be like, "Oh, now what do we do?
Yeah, right.
Where do we
That
put our
would be
money? I don't know."
Yeah, someone because I don't vote, and I know that's a controversial issue for some people. But I didn't want to be even like when I started DrydenWire. I don't want to be subconsciously even for one person or another. So that's why it was my decision not to. And someone said, "Well, what if everyone thought that way?" I'm like, "Great! Wouldn't that be awesome to see an election and 0 votes for anyone? Like, what happens then?" Like, I would love to see that. And by the way, that $30 million, why don't we, try to help out those that have mental health issues and, the homeless. And sure, nobody vote. I would love to see a 0-0. And it's like, well, now what?
We take that money and just put it in a bank. Well,
Exactly.
it does frustrate us. You and I both are on the same boat there. It frustrates how much money has to be spent on elections, just local elections alone.
Yeah.
And there's a city council race in Rice Lake. People have to vote for 2 candidates of 3. So one person's going to lose tonight. So just get out and vote. It's important to get out and vote. It's important to get informed and to guide our youth into, making that decision and getting more people out to vote to make decisions and get involved.
Hold on a second. You said you can vote for 2 people how many openings are there?
There is 2, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you only get to vote for 2, and there's 2 openings.
2 of
But
the
then the
3.
top 2.
Move
Is this
on.
the deciding? But they
No,
can't. If
this
there's
is the
just 2
move
people that move on, and there's 2 openings, then you already know they both get it. So that doesn't make sense.
You're right. I don't know. Maybe there's only 1 opening, and there's 3 people running. Maybe that was it. Must be 1 for 3.
I think
'Cause
you
you
can
have to
only
bring it
vote
down.
once if there's only 1 opening.
Right.
I don't know. You may want to. Well, it'll say on your ballot, vote for 1 or vote
It'll
for
say,
2.
but
It'll say right there
I
if you
haven't
haven't
been
done
to
it.
vote yet, so yes.
Yeah.
Before it snows, it's going to snow. We should probably talk about that.
Yep, that's our last thing up here. So, part 2 next. So we're going to do part 1 here, Dirk. Part 1. Phase 1 moves tonight, 3 to 5 inches of snow. Tomorrow there will be a lull in the action. We'll see 1 to 2 inches, maybe up to 3 inches Wednesday night. Yeah, that's when it sounds like the heavy snow is going to be Wednesday through Thursday midday, 5 to 10.
Another 5 to 10 and another 5 to 10. Holy bull. That's a lot.
Yeah. So that's like the big amount of snow. So there's like 2 waves. One is this afternoon through tomorrow early morning, but it shouldn't be a ton. And then Dirk is obviously 100% right, always. Then it's a little break. And then, so the biggest one, really, the wave 2 or phase 2, part 2 starts, what do you say, tomorrow night through, Wednesday night through Thursday. Oh, and
and then
there's your seized car. From your dad.
My dad said there's only one opening. There
One
you go. So
opening. See, we should have had him on the show telling us what's what.
He watches every week.
That's awesome.
So we're gonna have a lot of snow. So now, like Dirk said, now is a good time to go get your milk, get your groceries, get your gas, your snow blower,
get your beer for your kids. Apparently, that's a thing.
I mean, the kids are already excited. They're probably not. I see they're moving a lot of it's girls basketball playoff week, hockey playoffs this week. Boys basketball starts next week. They're already moving some games. Some games are early tonight. Some hockey playoff games have moved up to 5:00. Some games on Thursday are being moved to Friday. So you'll see a lot of changes in the weather, a lot of cancellations, I would assume, on Thursday, maybe even Friday.
Pay attention to DrydenWire.com.
DrydenWire.com.
We always do that. And actually, this may be one of those times where because we always do it at like 5 in the morning. We start looking for all these closings. We update it all morning. But I think this could be one of those things where, because as soon as we get one announcement, that's when we start our list and we update it after that. There could be a situation we're going to be getting some of these maybe on an evening time going, we're not doing school tomorrow. We're not even waiting to tomorrow. We're already going to call it. So we'll have that.
So I expect a lot of cancellations, a lot of give our plows a lot of room. We've already seen some churches cancel their Wednesday night services. It's Lent. I understand that, but there's just don't go out if you don't have to. Get your stuff today. Stay home. Plan for a couple of days. It sounds like Friday afternoon will be okay. It's the Birkebeiner this weekend up in Hayward. We're expecting a lot of traffic. We'll be out making sure, but that starts on Wednesday up there.
Traffic going through Barron.
A lot of traffic, tons of traffic. It's a big traffic weekend for us. A lot of people traveling through. There's 10,000 skiers in the Birkebeiner.
That's ridiculous.
I mean that's crazy.
Before we keep on this, I want to ask Dan if he's still watching. I want to ask you, Dan. We have Janet 1, Jennifer Doro 2, and then the making it past today, and then Dan Kelly getting 3rd, and Everett Mitchell 4th. I'm just curious. Your dad has a political mind.
Yes, he does.
I'm curious what he thinks, how that's going to end up. So if you're still watching, Dan, let us know, because I don't know if he can or not, but I don't know why he couldn't. That'd be awesome if you could let us know. So, I didn't think about that, all those people going through Barron County up to that. When do you anticipate all of those people? Is it Friday or Saturday?
Well, Saturday's the race, so we expect them Friday. And in fact, I learned yesterday in talking to somebody that people start doing the race on Wednesday. They can do it on Wednesday, so they can start on Wednesday, and their time counts for the race out there on Friday or Saturday. So if you don't like the big crowds, I don't know. I think the trails will be better, but we're going to get a lot of snow on Thursday. So I think the speeds will be down, is what I was told for the Birkebeiner. So that was interesting, but. Expect a lot of cancellations, a lot of changes. Stay home if you don't have to travel. Get your
hopefully
stuff
she has a generator now, by the way, because she was that last snowstorm with all the things that went out. She was without power for 3 or 4 days, and I think she went and finally just got a generator, or maybe it wasn't working. I can't remember, but I don't think it's going to be heavy.
No, I don't think we're going to lose power. Dirk even said that in one of his updates on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not on this one, but on Facebook. Follow Dirk on Facebook on the weather, whatever it is. I agree.
So he is. I'm assuming he meant the I agree in terms of Janet, Doro, Dick. Okay, and then the Corvette. It was 5 days she was without power. Eesh.
Yeah.
All right.
So, just be safe, be smart, be safe. Stay home if you don't have to.
If you have to go out. And I like what you actually said. I didn't even think about that. We should look, because we have to, spoon of water is terrible. So we get, we have a lot of bottled water. No, it just absolutely is. I'm not ripping on City of Spoon. I'm just saying the water's terrible. So we have to get big jugs of water just for our coffee, because it's it's water. The coffee is even gross.
We have the
But
best
we need to
water
go
in
and
the
stock up on
right
some water and some other things probably today
Yep.
to get ready. That's a good idea.
You have that big Jeep though, so now you can go all in the
Plow
snow.
right through it. Yeah. As long as I don't get pulled over and get a ticket for tinted windows.
No, it's Larry Olson's fault if you do.
Thanks, Larry. All right. What do you have? So obviously we have the snow stuff coming up this week. Anything else you have coming up this week, or is it really kind of focusing? How does that work when you do have a snowstorm like this, where it's not a one afternoon or an overnight or one day? It's going to be kind of stretched out in a couple of phases. Is this kind of you sit down with your team or send out a group email to your deputies and kind of all hands on deck? Or is it not? We've all done this. We know what we're doing. Or is it a situation where, like, let's hold off on this one thing so we can make sure that we're available to help people because people are going to be in the ditch? How does that work from your point of view?
Well, obviously, I and my administrative team keep track of it. Last night it got really busy. It got really slippery. I think we had 4 rollovers, no major injuries on any of them, all within an hour. And we had a lot of, it was crazy. That's when you just, I went on some calls. We had some state troopers out there. Some municipalities helped us out, things like that. So we just play it by ear. Yes, we've done this before. But if it gets that bad, then we don't close the roads. We just advise there's no travel. But we do say we there may be something. I don't think it will happen, but who knows? We pull the plows and you're driving at your own risk, and we use a plow to get to ambulance calls only or whatever it is. Our highway team, I work with our highway superintendent on things like that. So we don't close roads. We just say we're not traveling. We can't do rescues. We can't get out there. We'll make sure our equipment is ready. We have snowblowers. We have snowmobiles if we really need to get somewhere. We have our track truck here that we use for grooming that we can get out and go. We have different abilities to get places along with our county highway trucks. Will get us anywhere we need to go if we have to get somewhere. So we put it together as a team. I'll just be monitoring it all day and night.
You have snowmobiles for the sheriff's office?
We have 2, yes.
Do they have lights on them?
They do.
You could pull someone over in a snowmobile?
You didn't? Yeah, we do that all the time.
I did not know that. That is awesome. I want that job.
We have.
When you see like people getting pulled over for a snowmobile or for ATV, all that stuff, I didn't. Well, obviously, I didn't think it was like a car. I just thought it was like, I don't know, you just sit at one of the stop sign things in the trails and say, okay, a little checkpoint here. Anyone been drinking? Right. I didn't know that I know you have 4. I didn't know you had snowmobiles with lights on them. That is awesome.
We do. Yes.
How often do you go out on those just for fun and just like light it all?
I've only done it a couple times. I need to do it more.
You need to do that more. And then invite me because that's awesome. We'll do like a story on it, so then we'll have to take them out for the day or a weekend or 2, just so I can, get the full experience, so I can write a nice little story.
Stay within the county. We can't take them out of the county.
No problem. That's a big county. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right. And Renee, prayers for you. Gallbladder surgery next week. We'll miss you next week, Renee.
We'll just turn it on in the operating room. Tell the doctor it's important. Come on. Prayers for you. We're there.
Come on. Oh, my goodness.
Can't you hold off till 9:30? No.
Yeah, don't get. You schedule around it.
Yeah.
All right, and I'll have Romaine Quinn on. That's what's coming up this week. Obviously, I'll be late tonight doing the election updates when those things start coming in, and then super early tomorrow morning looking at any kind of closings or delays for school. And, yep, see, agreed. 100%. Yeah, that's awesome. But then on Thursday morning, though, I do have – I'm sorry?
Brian did buy that. He's a taxpayer.
No, he just moved to Spooner. I just found that out last night.
So
he's no longer for you.
He's going to have to move back in 4 years to vote for me. So,
yeah. See, that'd be even more fun, fully drugged up. That'd be fantastic.
It's kind of like us on the show. No,
pretty much.
Not the drug part, not knowing what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. Let's clarify that. Fitzy does not do drugs.
That's right.
They'll have Romaine Quinn on this Thursday for our now monthly chat. So that's all I have coming up. And I think that's it, man. Anything else that you want to bring up that we didn't get a chance to?
Stay warm and stay safe. That's all I got.
All right, man. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden. You've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. By the way, Lance, you killed it today. No issue with your video, Fitzy.
I know how to do it now.
All right. With nearly 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the outside and on the inside of your home or business. So give Brian a call today, 715-520-2271. As I just mentioned, this Thursday, Senator Romaine Quinn will be on for our now monthly chat that we have scheduled for the last Thursday of every month to talk about all the goings-on in Madison and the 25th Senate District. Fitzy and I will see you right back here next week on Tuesday. I heard tell a rumor that you may be in a different location next Tuesday, so you have to tune in next Tuesday to find out. Fitzy's like, what? I might be somewhere else, not here? You might be somewhere else next Tuesday.
We might not have to. We'll see.
Oh, okay. Well, you may or may not do. And then we'll find out, of course, how badly we were off on our predictions. But at this point, I'm going to say we're pretty good on them, because if your dad says we like that order, then that's the three of us. It's got to be done. So,
Okay, deal.
yeah, no kidding. All right. So until next week, thank you for watching. And as always, have a blessed day.